Jeanine Pirro faced a choice that all President Donald Trump's team members confront sooner or later. Do they live in his world or the real one? The D.C. U.S. attorney earned a tongue lashing from the president, an old friend, after reasoning that damage to the Capitol's reflecting pool resulted from his flawed remodeling project rather than the vandalism he claimed. By siding with evidence and leaving the looking-glass world that the president conjures around his White House, she infringed the personal bargain that is the price of entry to his inner power circle. Pirro, as a law enforcement official, is in a dicier position than other officials who can indulge Trump's unsupported claims without crossing him, since she must submit his accusations to the exacting standards of the courts. But in most areas of his political life, Trump's spinning of alternative realities is a powerful tool. It helped him build his political mystique and win 2 White House races, and it can act as a face-saving cover for his failures. This salesman's technique turned the Trump brand into a real estate empire and curated his image as a master tycoon on The Apprentice despite the checkered success of his businesses. When Trump hits a brick wall now, as president, he just fashions an alternative reality. He can talk up tough financial data or a foreign policy hiccup as though he's bigging up a tatty property in a real estate prospectus. This approach internally sustains a presidency that is deeply unpopular, with Trump's approval rating at 34% in the latest CNN/SSRS poll. But it's increasingly leading its author and the country onto dangerous ground. For many Americans struggling to afford grocery and rent, his golden age is a mirage. Roughly 2/3 of respondents in the CNN poll think his policies have worsened economic conditions. And the war with Iran that he insisted he won in a few days is now heading into its 6th month. Every successful president is a successful storyteller. Skillful politicians establish personal myths. President John F. Kennedy projected an image of modernity and youth despite his own fragile health to court voters weary of older leaders. It was often hard to distinguish between the screen persona of the movie star President Ronald Reagan and his real character. In 2008, then-son, Barack Obama created euphoria with his Hope and Change campaign that was never fully validated by the achievements of his presidency. But no recent president has so openly broken with reality as Trump. His method of deciding what is true and requiring everyone to accommodate him emerged as a signature trait only hours into his first presidency. Fuming over unflattering comparisons between his inaugural crowd and Obama's first swearing-in, he sent then-Press Secretary Sean Spicer into the briefing room to deliver a bizarre statement. This was the largest audience to ever witness an inauguration, period, both in person and around the globe, Spicer said. At the time, it seemed absurd, but it was an important moment. Spicer was the first Trump official to choose between observable reality and his boss's false version. Trump advisor Kellyanne Conway coined a presidency-defining soundbite for the ages when referring to the president's alternative facts. This pattern has endlessly repeated. Trump calls inconvenient but accurate news coverage fake. He treats tough polls the same way. Hyperbole is his best friend. He described his first-term tax cuts as the biggest in history. They weren't. In 2019, he held up a doctored map of the path of a hurricane to back up his claim it had been on track to hit Alabama, contradicting the accurate scientific data of government weather services.